So still cold as heck in Pennsylvania, so don't mind the disaster. That is or what's left of a 2000 KX65. I bought it for 300 bucks off Marketplace. I titled the 450 build the worst bike on Marketplace, and I'm pretty certain I beat it with this one. Obviously sat outside. There's some tree stuff. Pretty rough. Missing a radiator, missing a coil, missing a CDI box. Obviously some radiator shrouds, back fender. This is my favorite. The seats broke. I don't really know how they did that. We can fix it. Missing a rear wheel. Pipes caved all to hell. We can fix that. Rotor's bent up front. But anyway, it's missing some stuff. This is crazy. So somehow, it was obviously outside. Water got in this swing arm and froze and swelled and popped. This is how skinny it's supposed to be. This is how this one looks. So I started, and somebody had this thing apart. I'm guessing more than it was because the mud flaps on backwards and stuff. But I started gathering up some parts because what I want to do is build this. The seat height stock is 29.9 or 30 inches on a 2000 KX65, but they're linkage rear suspension. And the steering stem's close enough to a KLX110 that I think I can do something to lower it. So my kids' Huskies are both 26-inch seat height. So I need 4 inches out of this basically to make it rideable for him. He's 7. He's AMA 7. We have 2 years still, or 2 summers still to race 50s, but I want him to start learning the 65, the clutch, shifting, and the power. So rather than buy him a new one, I thought I could lower a KX65 pretty quick, easy, cheap, and he can start learning. So I found this front end on Marketplace. Kid wanted 50 bucks. Ended up trading him a case of Coors Light for it, which, whatever. That worked out well for me. I think it was $30. I paid for the triple clamps and the forks, which they're pretty rough. They're spray painted, but I'll powder coat them, so not a big deal. The bars I had off another build, I think they were originally for the TTR 125, and they weren't tall enough. I found this wheel off a local guy, a buddy of mine, for 100 bucks. That's a KLX 110 wheel. So that's off an old style KLX 110. Swing arm, KX65 swing arm off eBay. I think I paid 60 bucks. These are Soupy's Performance adjustable lowering links. I think this is for like circle track or like the flat track stuff, but I don't care. I just need it to be lower. These are supposed to go up to 4-inch drop, and it just so happens that these forks are 4 inches shorter from the axle to the top of the triples is 4 inches. So I think I can drop it 4 inches. If I drop this 4 inches, that should bring my seat height down 4 inches, give me 26-inch seat height. The reason I want to do this before I tear it down and start building, before I order a seat cover, if I order a Guts seat cover and it has these Guts logos on the side, and then I have to shave that seat foam to make it low enough for him, though, and then it's going to become an issue to then get those folded down around the side of the seat. So when I order the seat, yeah, obviously I'm going to powder coat it. So what my goal is I think the Husky TC65 number plate and front fender will fit this bike, and we'll do white plastics, the blue and teal seat like the Husky, same graphics kit except the new Kawasaki like round logo instead of the H for the Husky. And I think we can basically match somewhat this bike to his 50s. Build him a nice little KX65. It is almost the end of February. We got a week left of February. His birthday is in April, end of April, last week of April. So I have March and April. 2 months-ish to get him a bike built. And that's what we're gonna try to do. Before we start tearing it down, I was waiting on this wheel to do this mock-up. That is supposed to be an OEM KX65 wheel off eBay. It is blatantly a China pit bike wheel that they sent me for $200. So dealing with that eBay return sucks. That's part of, I think, the issue of using eBay is you never know. You have to trust random people across the world. But yeah, we'll get that sorted. I'm going to use it still because it's close enough to mock this up to see if I get the seat height that I want. So stay tuned. This one should be cool. If it comes out, I'm going to try to do this in one. I did the TTR build, that's still not done, in like 6 videos. I'm going to try to do this in one. So the goal is tonight, mock this up, measure my seat height, tear it down, and I'll send it out for powder, clean the motor up, rebuild it. And we should be able to do this all in one video. It might be a long video, but I want to do it in one. So the actual steering stem is longer on the KLX than the KX. Not a big deal, we can spacer it above the bearing. But it's in there, it will work. So I'm gonna put that rear wheel in there and the, wherever they are, the adjustable lowering links, and measure my seat height. Well, here it is. I got 24 inches to the top of the seat. Granted, there's no front tire, but I think the difference in the height of the front tire, I can make up here by moving the forks up. So, and this seat is broken. Again, half an inch there, but I only need 26 inches. So point is, I can leave the front end where it's at, jack the rear up so that it actually turns well and isn't raked out, and still stay in that 26-inch mark. So point is, even with the China rear rim and everything, just specking it up, I'm confident to tear it down and rebuild it, powder coat the frame, do everything right, because I know I can get this thing to short enough to where my kid can ride it. So. All right, so I tore it apart. I wasn't gonna wait. I think I forgot to hit record, but engine's out. It does turn over. I put ATF down the spark plug hole. When I got this bike, it does turn over, so it's apart. So I got a mess, but swing arm is stripped. I'm having a hard time. I need another set of hands. I can't hold the fork and get the seal out. I got the clips out, but anyway, I got these forks off to get these apart. Triples, part of the frame. The wheel, I got all the spokes out of it. And then the frame, obviously. Because my powder came in today, the gloss black. A pound's the least amount you can buy. Obviously, I don't need a pound to do one wheel, but gloss black for the front hoop. That's supposed to be husky blue. So I think that's gonna be like a navy. Again, they don't, just because the color it looks like in powder form isn't usually the color it is once it's on there. And this is, what do they call this? Metal gray. Looks like a light gray. Like I'm thinking a factory, like this gray is what I was shooting for. Almost like a silver. I'm gonna put WP stickers and everything on those fork legs. That'll be the swing arm, and the fork legs will be that color. Oh, and the triple. And the frame will be that husky blue, and then the hoop will be black. I gotta get moving, because I gotta get this, I gotta get a seat cover coming. I gotta get this motor apart to see if I can go with the stock top end or not on the rebuild. Gonna do a bottom end while we're there, because why not? Gotta fix that pipe. So we gotta talk about this. I ended up, as I tore down that other 65, parts everywhere, took the frame, swing arm, and the forks to get powder coated. I ended up finding this one on Facebook Marketplace for 500 bucks. I couldn't really pass it up. It's a newer model. Something's wrong with the clutch and the transmission. You can't find neutral. It actually, shouldn't say you can't find neutral. It doesn't shift at all. So I don't know if the shift fork's broke, but I will also say the clutch is way out at the end of adjustment, the cable, to get it to pull. And you can see where they hit it on, we're banging on this. I mean, it's rough. It does have a PC pipe, which is cool. I'll use that. It has a China knockoff carb. But this motor's much better than this nightmare. This thing's pretty crusty. So, and it doesn't turn over. So I think I could justify it. There was enough good parts on this thing that I didn't have, including good, not bent foot pegs, Kickstarter, shifter, outside engine cases, that head pipe that doesn't, I mean, this head pipe is just beat. My seat is broke, but I mean, I can obviously fix it with a rivet, but it's another seat option. I just think I got a better bike here and much more parts that I didn't have. Oh, CDI box and radiator in this one. They weren't in that other one, shrouds, all that. So I'm a lot more confident I can build a whole bike now between these two pieces of junk, and I'm still like $900 total in it. So that's where we stand. I got some parts in today. Air filter, carb rebuild kit, the billet top nut because it's 10 bucks. It's way cheaper than the OEM one. A full gasket set, top, bottom end. I'm gonna pull that top end apart, and I know the bottom end's got transmission issues. This one I think has a good transmission, so I'm gonna make one out of the two. So I'm gonna need a full gasket kit. I know I'm gonna have to put at least rings in it, but for now, gaskets. Spark plug, clutch cable, brake. I'm sorry. Yeah, clutch cable and front brake cable. No, I'm sorry, clutch cable, throttle cable. Front brakes KX, yeah. Grips, steering stem, bearings, and a guts cover. Because again, we're matching these 50s. The TC65 front fender and front number plate fit the KX 110 forks, so. So I didn't do a very good job of showing it, and my table's disgusting, but I'll explain a little bit. So that was my first experience with a carburetor in a ultrasonic cleaner. And this carb slide, well, it might be stuck again. No, it's not. I don't know if I can get it out here. Difficult. Anyway, it still needs some polishing down there, or cleaning, but it was completely seized in, couldn't even pry it up. Ultrasonic cleaner got it all pretty well cleaned up. I mean, the inside of that bowl, I'm never buying another can of carb cleaner. Ultrasonic cleaner is the way to go, but I didn't do a very good job explaining that. And there's still some crud in there, so I guess I need to, that's just from it laying in the bottom of the ultrasonic cleaner. That's like loose crud now. It's not, dirt. And this thing still kind of got a little bit of corrosion in there, but it got me to where I can reuse this carburetor for sure. I mean, a little more cleaning to do, but very little effort in that ultrasonic cleaner. So big fan of that. I also got a rear wheel finally, second try from eBay. I'm embarrassed to admit that I paid $190 for this thing because it's rough, but I needed the hub more than anything. I could get a hoop, but I needed the hub. So honestly, clean that hub, powder coat the hoop black, the rim black, get new spokes and a sprocket and probably a rotor, wheel bearings. This thing's not bad. It'll work at least. And again, this is the other bike. I'll insert now a picture that the guy that's powder coating my stuff, my buddy Jimmy. So I added this portion after the fact, so there's no music over it. I just want to add the voice part because I thought it was pretty satisfying to watch all the grease and grime and dirt come off these parts as I sandblast them. So yeah, like I said, blast cabinet's pretty satisfying, so I figured I'd just add these in. He has everything sandblasted and ready, so I'll take him this rim tonight to sandblast, and yeah, we're actually cruising. I got about a month till his birthday, so long way to go. Oh, we did also get the rest of the plastic. So it'd be TC65 front, KX65 rear fender, side number plates, and shrouds. And then my buddy did my seat cover on the KX seat, so it'll match the Husky seats. So, well, that was a first for me. I used the bolt cutters and just cut all those spokes because they're just awful, not worth fixing. I think this probably came off, this is from eBay, probably came off a bike that's out outside for what appears to be a long time. But like I said, the big thing, I can clean that hub up easy enough, put new spokes in it, new brake rotor. It's really not that bad. So, and I wanted to get the rims done anyway, so, you know, powder coated, so not a big deal. Got my frame and my hoops and my swing arm and triples. Where's the rest of that triple? Still on the truck, apparently. Back from powder. They look great. Pretty darn close. This color from Prismatic Powders is called Husky Blue. It's pretty dang near Husky Blue. So yeah, and I also got this figured out. It now comes out of gear. So pretty simply, I didn't video it. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't hit record. Pulled the cover off. Your end of your shift shaft, like the detents, came loose, and they got in behind the shift star, and it was jammed up, so it wouldn't allow it to go into any gear. It was stuck in gear. So yeah, that's good now. So yeah, basically I can pull that motor out, clean it, and put it directly into that blue frame. I was gonna put a top end in it, but it feels like it has good compression. And this bike, again, is just to learn the 65 and start shifting. So I'm gonna make it look cool, run good enough, clean that pipe up. I think I'm gonna do the raw look on that pipe. I don't know yet. I got white rad hoses coming. That should look good. I have a ton more parts coming, spokes and all kind of stuff. So we're not done, but we're working our way there. I should try to start this thing maybe. Yeah, we'll put some gas in this and see if we can start it. It's got a China carb, but we got it shifting now. And it has tons of compression. See, Chinese carb, but you know what? I am gonna see if I can get this thing to start before I pull it. I'm gonna pull it, clean it. I need to put those outside gaskets in it that we had off to see why it wouldn't shift. Clean it and put it in that frame. I can put the triple on. I can lace the front wheel. Put the swing arm on, suspension. Yeah, I have some work to do here with what I have for parts and kind of get me narrowed down to see where I'm at. So yeah, we're gonna see if we can get this running, throw some gas in it. The kid that I bought it off of claimed it ran, just wouldn't shift. There's no gas in it, so I don't know if that was a sales ploy, but we'll find out. I'm gonna throw some gas in it. I put some gas in it. Gas that I mixed up for the Husky. It's 60-to-1, it's probably a little lean for this machine, but for what we're doing, just starting it to see if it'll run. Here's my kill switch. I'm guessing these not touching is gonna be run, and those touching is gonna be kill, but I don't know. I did just put a little bit of 1040 in the bottom end, just so I have something down there that's slippery. Has a new throttle cable and throttle assembly, but this is China as heck. So I don't know. I'm gonna see if it'll go without any throttle. Choke's on the China carb. I'm gonna put the phone up here real quick. I'm gonna do it live time. That way nobody thinks I messed around here. Again, I paid $500 for this bike. So we'll see. See what we get. All right, let's see. Choke's on. I'm not even messing with the throttle. I'm gonna keep the kill switch, what I believe to be kill switch, ready. No way, that sounded like it wanted to go. Choke's on. Give a little throttle, see what we get. Easy enough. I guess it does run. That's sweet, because then I can put it directly into that frame. Obviously, I'm going to clean it up nice, but awesome that it runs. Let me get that motor out, put it in the sink and scrub it good with Brillo pads. I figured out too, this clutch was real close. Like it felt like it was wore out. Or not wore out, but like, I don't like how far up that arm is in order to make contact with the push rod and the clutch. Well, we found a washer that was kind of crunched up in the bottom of that transmission. When we had that apart looking to see why it wouldn't shift, I figured it out. Because I had that other parts motor. It was this washer. I won't focus. Why won't you focus? Anyway, that washer that goes under this push rod. So that's obviously adding a gap there, or a distance that you push against. So I believe that was the only issue why that clutch is that clutch rod's so close already. It does work, so. Well, it did run. This is painfully similar to the KX450 I just did. Got a head gasket leak. That's okay. It fired up that easily with a leaking head gasket. Tells me we're good. Mechanically, we got a little gasket leak. That's not a problem. That's O-rings up top. And I prepared myself to put a top end in this bike. So, it's so odd to see a pile of parts, and they're not all KX65. There's a lot of 110 stuff here too for that front end, but well, maybe it is a gasket, not O-rings up top. There's a head gasket, base gasket's under it. So I'll just pull that cylinder off, or at least that cylinder head off, and put that gasket in it. If that doesn't fix it, I have another head, I have another cylinder, since I have 2 motors. So this is good. It runs though, so I'm not worried at all about that head gasket leak. That's not a big deal. Biggest deal is get it cleaned up. Carburetor's leaking like crazy, but again, that's okay, because that's a China carb, and I have the OEM carb that we put in the ultrasonic cleaner. Here we're leaking around our studs. Who knows, that might just need retorqued, hopefully. I mean, somebody was in here that shouldn't have touched a bike, but that's okay. These silicone hoses are nice, but they're red. Red's not cool, so I actually have white ones coming. If they would have had navy or teal, I would have gone with those, but since they didn't, I went white. Red's fine, just not for a white and blue bike. So again, this is the goal, to look like that. So our plastics, this is crappy. So these are UFO plastics. This is a Cherubies front fender. I don't know that it's branding that makes them a different color, or if it's the actual OEM color, but they're a little off. It doesn't matter, it's gonna be carbon graphics. So real quick, I gotta talk about how your CDI box is mounted on this newer frame. It has this tab. The older frame does not have it because it had a much larger ignition box. So what I'm gonna do is I went like this and there was enough wire. So I'm just gonna flip it up like this and think it'll be out of the way. And I think I'll have enough wire, so we'll see. But that bike's stripped. This carbs, I put the carb back together again from that ultrasonic cleaner. What a good job it did. I think I cut these hoses a little short, but they'll probably work. And like I said, I'm gonna put this motor, I'm gonna plug the exhaust port and intake ports, put it in the sink and scrub it. And then it's ready to go in. And when I can put it in that frame, put the swing arm on, we're cruising. Like I said, this could be very quick. I had some other work to do, a golf cart in here and a tractor earlier, but yeah, I think we're moving. Hopefully this weekend here, get this thing back together. All right, so we ran into a hiccup. I measured the stem and went with KLX bearings, measuring the OD of the steering stem, but not the ID of the actual head tube. So I need this stem, the KX stem, and the KLX triple. So I believe I can grind that weld off and push out the stem, and vice versa, switch it and weld it into that one. That's going to be the new effort, because it's not going to work otherwise. So hopefully we can switch those stems. Okay, so I just realized that I had to do a voiceover on this also. But here's the example of the KX65 stem cut out of the triple clamp. Find this out and do this. There it went. I heard it. Good? Yep. So in this mess on my toolbox, I got the steering stem bearings. So I'm gonna throw them on, see if I can put the races in. I'm gonna try not to refreeze that triple just because I don't have the time. I don't want to take the time. All right, so the swing arm's sitting there to hold the stand up. But yeah, forks and triples are on. KLX front end on a KX65. Okay, so need to adjust the holes in the rear of that fender so that they line up. I need to make a little bracket here to line this bolt up, but definitely will work. That's a KX65 front end, or front fender number plate on a KLX triple tree and front fork on a KX65 frame. So I showed how I was going to mount that CDI, but it's not going to work. I'm going to go the whole way to the steering stop this way. The fork hits it this way. So I'm going to have to make a bracket and hang it, but that's small potatoes. That'll be easy to do. I need to get the radiator in there and stuff to see what kind of room I have to work with. So I wanted to do a better job of explaining, since earlier I said that I fixed it and made it shift. So the bolt at the end of the shift drum and this screw here that holds your detents were both loose. Then this washer here, see the washer on that push rod, I found down in here all bent up. So I think that probably caused some issues. And that was also why that clutch arm was so close to where the cable mount is. So I wanted to just explain that real quick, not necessarily show it, because we did it, I did it without explaining it. So yeah, this screw and this screw were loose. So pulled them out, cleaned them, red Loctited them, put them back in, now everything works. So, and added this washer from my parts motor. So now I get the full push rod for the clutch throw. So just wanted to show that. I'm gonna put this thing in the sink and get it washed up. So I just got back. I scrubbed this in the sink as best I could with a Brillo pad. It came out really nice. I mean, compared to how it was. It's still not perfect. Then I took it down to the car wash and pressure washed it. I noticed some gouges in that cylinder head. I don't love that. And this was seeping. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the cylinder head off, which gives me the chance to look at it and put a head gasket in it. I also scrubbed that shock so I can put it in. But while I'm here, I'm cleaning stuff up kind of. Just in case you missed it with what we did with the front end. This is the steering stem of the KX110. This is the lower triple clamp from the KX65. There's a weld along the bottom. So you grind that weld off, and then you actually press the shaft. It would be up through this way, which is down through the way it sits on the bike. And then I swapped the shafts and welded it. The diameter is different. As you can see, it doesn't go. So I had a gap to make up, but we put it in there, held it. It should go to show and prove that you don't need thousands of dollars worth of tools and to be an engineer to do this stuff. Just, I'm just a dad, man. I'm just a dad that wants to build cool stuff for his kid. And luckily I have a buddy that's on board with helping. He does all my powder coating and he helped me do the welding on that. But yeah, just try it. If you take anything from my videos, or my goal is to show that you just try it. It's really not that difficult. It's all just nuts and bolts. There's a couple bikes tore apart here. I mean, all these bikes. This TTR build, if you haven't watched it, you should. It's really cool, kind of the same deal. Steering stem was cut off. We took rake angle out of it. YZ85 front end, just try it. This 65 is a good example of just try it. I don't know how good the bike's gonna work with KLX front end and lowered as far as it is in the rear. I got a feeling it's not gonna turn well, but that's okay. I need him to learn the clutch and the shifting, so it's really okay. Just trying to make a cool bike to teach him that. Okay, so heads off. I wiped it once, but you can kind of see there across the sealing surface where that head gasket was blown. So I'm gonna scuff this gently by hand. You can see where it's wet across there too. Scuff it gently and put a gasket in it. But while I'm in there, hard to see, but the cylinder still has cross-hatching in it. 0 gouges. So we are gonna run this top end. I wish I could see that number on it so I know what top end's in it, but it doesn't really matter. We're gonna clean this up by hand with Scotch-Brite pad and then put a head gasket in it. That should handle it, hopefully. We're gonna put it in video mode for this part because it's so important. I walked away as I said that, so hopefully you heard it. But time to torque it, so I want to do it on video so I can explain it a little better rather than talking over it. So 18 foot-pounds is the torque spec. I highly suggest, it doesn't have to be snap-on, but I highly suggest a digital torque wrench if you're gonna do engine work. Just makes life so much easier. Always go cross pattern. I don't love this one nut that pulled the stud out with it, but it'll get tight and stay tight. Technically, we should set that stud and then torque the head, the nut, but we're gonna roll with this. Again, this bike's gonna teach him how to ride with a clutch and shifting. Doesn't have to be a rocket. Looking for the more look fast on this one. Boy, I hope that's not stripped. I think it is. You gotta be kidding me. That's probably why that was leaking. Yep, stripped. Shoot. Okay, well that adds a caveat to our day. Oh man. Oh yeah, threads are all pulled right out of it. Son of a gun. You're not gonna be able to see that, but threads are pulled severely. So, looks like we're gonna run that other cylinder. Well, before I junked that cylinder, I did get the nut off the stud with a little heat, but ouch, these pliers are hot, ouch. I have a helicoil kit for M8 by 1.25, which is what these studs are. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna helicoil that cylinder, see if we can get it to torque up. So I just drilled and tapped now. Kind of see those threads down in there. Actually pretty nice. Aluminum's so easy to work with, but this helicoil kit comes with the setting tool. Let's see if it'll focus. Yep, and the helicoil that's on it, you thread it on and off. So obviously you put some red Loctite on this outside this helicoil, so when you put it down in, it stays. And then the tap and the drill bit. So it all comes as a kit, so you can't mess it up. So this is, like I said, it's M8 by 1.25. I'll put some red Loctite on this, set it, and we should be good. I like to do these by hand as far as I can, just so I can feel if it's going right, wrong, or other. So far this one's pretty good. I'm almost in there the whole length of that helicoil. So I'm gonna grab a wrench real quick. So it's square on top to take a tap handle. And if this is going hard, don't force it, because you can't back these helicoils back out. They'll only go one way. Now I'm going to put that in a little further. I think that I need to. That might be good enough. Let me look. I'll have to clean this stud up, but I want to see if it'll bottom out. If it won't, I'll have to go in a little further. Okay, I gotta go further. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what did I do with my tape? Here it is. Okay, that's at the bottom of the hole. All right, so we have good threads. Focus. So we have good threads. So this may very well work. I gotta clean up the stud because grabbing it with pliers messed it all up, but clean that up, put it in, and we might still be good to go. We'll see if it torques up. Okay, we'll set this stud. Got the bottom of the nut out first on the stud. I must have, I think I started it crooked. Unless when I bottomed it out, I stretched it. That stud's definitely in there crooked. How could that be? I'll try that again. Yeah, threads are nice, and they're straight. Stud's straight. That looks better. Yeah. Oh, it might be. Oh, it's hitting the bottom. I almost wonder. That might be all we get. Yeah, it'll torque there. So I'll take that. I'll tighten it up with those vice grips real quick. I don't want to get too carried away here, but I want it to be tight. Oh, that's tight. That's more than 20 foot-pounds, which is what the nut torque is, so. Let's blow that out one more time. Okay, so the cylinder head's on. Moment of truth is if this will torque for 20 foot-pounds. I don't want to start with that one, but. These studs are all in there at different depths. The regular ratchet for speed's sake. What the heck? There's plenty of threads on that. There ran a chaser over it. There we go. Just had a tight spot. Making me nervous. Okay, it's snug. Bad part about bad thread when you're torquing something, especially on a head, if it's got a bad thread or a tight thread, it'll actually give you a false torque spec because it'll get tight because that drag in the thread is actually making it seem torqued when it's not. So 18 foot-pounds, let's try again. Again, going cross pattern as if this was a 4-bolt wheel on your car. I'm a little over torque there. $12, 17.8. All right, torqued up. So I'm guessing that's going to handle our head gasket leak. It's probably why that head gasket even blew out there. They all feel the same. Cool. All right, so I got a new spark plug. I'll throw that in there. Good thing is that just saved it. Hopefully saved that motor. If we were racing this machine, you probably want to helo coil the cylinder, but we're not. This is just a learning machine. Best part about working with these little bikes is it's so easy to set that engine in there without scuffing anything. And that went right in there. Actually doesn't look too bad clean wise. Better. Oh, spark plug wire is pulled tight. That's pleasant. Yeah, I mean, that's what I needed to do because now I can put that swing arm in there, which is, you know, to help balance it out some. I have that impact on the back of the stand right now. Honestly, I think now that the engine's in there, it might be okay, but I know when I get the swing arm on, that'll help. So I'm gonna try to get the swing arm on real quick and we'll go from there. All right, so these Soupies adjustable linkages hit the bolt. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it down in there. Hits the long end of the bolt and definitely the hex end. So I think my best bet is to shorten, grind the head of the bolt and grind the end of the bolt. This one would clear. Plus I can grind these once they're all set and I know the height, I can grind those, but for now, I think I'm gonna have to grind the head of the bolt. And I have a whole nother bolt, I have a whole nother bike, so I think we can make it work. But we're getting somewhere. I mean, this has come a long way in one night. Tomorrow, I got a bunch of parts coming, so that'll take it another long way. I'm gonna throw the carburetor on this, and I think I'm gonna be done for the night. I just wanna share a tech tip. Take the end of your carburetor breather hoses and split them. All of them. Because if these clog up and they can't vent, it'll like vacuum lock that carburetor. This thing will run like crap. You'll be chasing an issue, and all it is your vent hoses are clogged. If you split them, they can flex at the end, and they're a lot less likely to get clogged up. Obviously, I'm going to route these down around and zip tie them together, make it look nice, but just wanted to share that. So as I'm scrubbing parts, I take everything and then Brillo pads, actually the cheap knockoffs from the dollar store. They're called like soap pads or something. But anyway, I scrub all these parts, right? So all the parts I'm gonna reuse, air box. This stuff comes out really nice. Like obviously there's gonna be a graphic over that tank. Gonna be a graphic and a seat over that. Like that's kind of ground in. It's okay, that's plenty good enough. The radiator shrouds are a good example. Those things were yellow and nasty. And again, they're not perfect, but it makes them nice and usable. Anyway, I'm scrubbing this mud flap, and I noticed something just won't come off, and I think I could scrub it off. Then I realized what it was. That's the residue left over from an old PJ1 sticker. If you know, you know kind of moment. I feel like every bike in the 2000s, early 2000s, maybe even late 90s had a PJ1 sticker on it somewhere, so I'm gonna let that there for old time's sake. All right, so it's off the stand. The rear axle is not tight because I don't have the correct caliper mount, which is the wheel spacer. So it's not tight, but honestly, The front rake angle looks a little bit too far out. But what I think I can do is I think I can come up in the rear and move the forks up a little bit in the front, so it kind of brings the rear up, the front down, which should help resolve that rake angle some. I mean, it's not awful, but the cool part is I'm exactly 25.5, almost 26 inches to the seat, which is what his 50s are. So that was the goal, get him a bike that shifts. You know, he has a clutch and has to shift. And of course, I didn't have to make it, I guess, look like that. I was just thinking, I'm probably around $2,000 in this bike between buying 2 junk bikes. There's $300 in powder there, powder coat, which I didn't have to do. I mean, I could have got away without having black rims and a husky blue frame and gray swing arm and stuff, but I paid, you know, $30 for the front forks, then plastic seat cover, you know, different stuff. I might even be under $2,000, honestly. Silicone hoses just came in, but I also shortened that pipe. It looks so much better. Oh man, it just, especially on a 2-stroke where I think performance-wise I'm not gonna lose anything, they just look so much better. Short, I think it's gonna be a little bit obnoxious, but I'm okay with it. So really, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I could end this video, but I'm gonna clean up the front, like the expansion chamber, the head pipe for the exhaust, get the rear brakes on. I took the foot pegs and the rear brake lever to get powder coat. They just look too rough. I got some repair to do the Kickstarter before it goes on. For the most part, I mean, I think, what are we, end of March? I still have almost 4 weeks till his birthday. We're pretty much done. I gotta get graphics. I have a front brake lever. It's pit bike adjustable, so I can bring it back. And this clutch lever is just holding place. I have the Pro taper, forget what line it is, but it's very adjustable to bring it back in so he can reach it. I have those coming. And yeah, I think that's really about it as far as parts I still need. I have a chain. I have the correct caliper bracket coming. Yeah, we're maybe a couple more minutes of time lapse, and then we should have a ride video. I'm probably gonna ride this thing and finish this video before I get graphics, because right now, although it looks like his bike, I can lie about it if he catches it, if he sees it, because it doesn't have his graphics on it. Once it has graphics, I can't lie to him about whose bike it is, so, and it is a birthday gift, so yeah, probably gonna finish putting it together, really get it to start, get it hidden away in the basement. That's where I'll upload the video at that point, and then, you know, maybe the next video will be him riding it, and it'll have graphics on it, but. So I'm gonna make a quick video. Somebody just commented on my 450 video that I need to show how I clean this stuff. So this is after like an hour of scrubbing with a Brillo pad. There's just a bunch of gunk built up on there. So I use this little Harbor Freight Dremel tool. It's like 25, 30 bucks with the wire wheel, and just gently go around. I mean, you can see, if it'll focus, there's still polished material under there. So we can get this pipe looking reasonable. I was gonna get all the dents out, but the kit that I have doesn't fit. The kit that I have available to me, my buddy's kit, doesn't fit. It's made for big bikes, so I think I'm just gonna roll with them. You can't really even see them. I mean, you can see a couple of these, but we're gonna put more dents in it, so it'll be all right. All right, so I put oil in it just for reference. We're running Dominator 32-to-1 with 93 pump gas, engine ice coolant, Honda brake fluid, just because that's what I had, and I put Honda GN4 1040 in the bottom end, because again, the closest motorcycle shop to me is a Honda shop, so go with Honda fluids because that's what they have. So anyway, I'm gonna start this thing. Try to start it anyway. Cold. I'm gonna go try no choke first. Oh. Well, I guess it runs. So the only thing left is to put, I'm still waiting on my front brake lever. They're just there to hold place. That's a clutch lever. And my clutch lever, going with adjustables. They're coming in, they're supposed to be here soon, they're on their way. And I have the wrong brake bracket, so waiting on that. Then I can bleed the brakes and yeah, put this thing away till the graphics come in. I'm gonna test ride it before the graphics come in, just so that part's done. But I mean, it goes into gear and it runs fine. So I think we're good for the birthday. So I got some more parts today. The clutch lever came. So just for reference, how far out, now this clutch is bent, but like, I'm not a giant dude, but a full grown adult, and I can reach it, but it's a little far. This Pro Taper XPS, is that what they call this? XPS, I think. It has 2 adjustments, so you can set that set screw in, and then micro adjust it here in and out. So I mean, you could bring that thing right back against the bar. So that's where we're gonna roll. I just can't decide if I'm gonna put it right where that one is, or if I'm gonna move it out here to make it easier for him. I'm gonna put it right there. Yeah, I just wanted to show the difference. I'll show it once it's on too, but for reference, there's the gap. So it's hard to believe, but that's enough clutch throw to engage and disengage that clutch. And that's way closer. It may help burn that clutch, but that's okay. We're learning. I'll put $50 clutch discs in it to give him something he can reach. So that's awesome. Worth the 140 or 150 bucks, whatever that lever costs. Definitely worth it. Okay, so the front brake lever came in from Faster Minis. It's a little bit smaller than the clutch lever, and of course it's blue, not gold, to match the Pro Taper. They don't make this Pro Taper in a front brake lever that's not hydraulic, so I couldn't use it. Because again, the KX front end is drum cable. So for size comparison, it's a little shorter. This is only 50 bucks, and it has the same style of adjustment. I'm sure it's not the same quality as the Pro Taper, maybe it is. But for 50 bucks, I think I should have tried to look in to see if they had the match to this for a clutch. But that's okay. I knew that clutch lever would work. This was kind of a gamble. I think it's going to work, but I'm going to throw it on real quick so that I'm done with that. And I got the Nihilo grip tape for the frame, and the graphics are ordered. They're coming. We decided on that, so they're all designed. Hopefully the end of this week, I'll put them on and finish this video. All right, so it's done. That's the 50. So had MX Graphics I sent them, you know, the factory on the TC and asked them to put the Cowie logo up there, and I really think they killed it. Where it says TC50, had them put KX65. I had them put L for lowered. I know. In terms of dirt bikes, you get the L model, it's usually a big wheel. But I guess it's just all in how you look at it. So KX65L, but same graphics. I did add Jim's Toys and Such and Rowdy Life. Rowdy Life is hooking Easton up with some sick gear, and Jim's, my buddy Taylor over at Jim's, was a big part of this bike. I mean, he's been a big part of all the bikes, so cool to put his logo on there. But yeah, I just wanted to set them together beside each other, kind of see what I was going for, and the end result really came out nice. I'm gonna take them off the stand so you can see seat height to seat height, but pretty darn close. And you know, for perspective on the 50, to get it to the seat height I needed, I dropped to a 10-inch wheel, front wheel, moved the forks up, including a 10-inch or 10 mil spacer so I get more fork height. I had the rear shock lowered, and I have it, you can't see, but I have it in the top mounting hole, and I had it lowered internally by Pro Action. So 50 is also dirty, we just rode. But yeah, so I mean, I had to do a lot to get the 50 lowered, but I think the coolest thing about this 65 is you just can't go buy it, you know? It's KX110 front end, took some fab work, you know, lowered in the rear, you know, levers that are way tiny and close to them. And yeah, I don't know, maybe it's not as cool as I think it is, but I really think it's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna set them down off the stand real quick so you can see the seat height. I don't know how long these are gonna sit here like this, but for perspective, the bar height's the same, seat height's pretty much the same. Actually, the 65 looks a little lower. I have a picture I'll insert here of a KTM 65, new one, and a 24 in its lowest setting. So I'll insert it here so you can see sitting beside this KX65. But yeah, I mean, basically the same height. Obviously much different looking with the amount of suspension on the 50 and the lack thereof. I mean, that's the same as a KLX110. So I mean, it's not like it doesn't have suspension, and he's just learning. So it's really okay. This thing's always gonna be on a track. I know it has low ground clearance, and you know, but it's not gonna be on the trail ever. So just a learning aid, learning tool. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, hey, if you enjoyed it, thanks for watching, and you know, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it.